If you were running for office, what dirt would your opponent try to dig up on you? What kind of stuff would they be able to find? Do you have one of those pasts like a lot of us do? Did you used to party pretty hard? Did you ever get caught cheating in some way, financially or relationally, and that's out there somewhere that could be dug up? Do you have a misdemeanor on your record somewhere? If you do, that's very human. We all who've lived for a while, we have a past. All of us have things that we did until we knew better. Maybe you know someone or you yourself used to be a bully, but you had to learn that that's not the way to be. Maybe you used to smoke cigarettes or something else, and you did that till you quit. Maybe you know someone who has an arrest record, but they've been in AA for 20 years, and that's in the distant past. All of that stuff is normal. All of that stuff is human. And that is what the people in today's gospel want to find on Jesus. They want to dig up some dirt on him so they can use it against him. They're trying to entrap him. And one important detail in this gospel is that it was the Herodians and the Pharisees. That's like saying the church and the state were aligned together. When they came knocking at Jesus' door, it was like he opened it and there was the Department of Homeland Security and the faculty of Villanova University, and they both want to talk to him. They have some questions for him, and no matter what he says, they're going to use it against him. Do we pay taxes to the emperor or not? Now remember, church and state are both there. The Pharisees don't care about the taxes. That's a Roman thing. And the Romans don't care about the 10 Commandments. That's a Jewish thing. But they're together in cahoots to try to trap him so that whatever he says, it can be used against him. So here is a detail in this story that is really interesting. Now, if you've been hearing my homilies for a while, you know I don't usually go too deeply into the history of things. It is fascinating, and there's a lot of stuff to dig up there, but I usually find that it might be a little too distracting. But today there is a history part of this that's really important to bring up, and that is what the biblical archaeologists say about those coins. It's very clear that there was an image on the coin, just like our coins have images on them. And the image, as we know, was Caesar's. But what the biblical archaeologists say is, it didn't just have a face of Caesar. It said, in Latin, Caesar the Divine. Which meant that to even have a coin like this was breaking the first commandment. Because remember, in the Jewish way of saying the first commandment, you shall not have any graven images. They took that very literally then in those days. So listen to now the story with that little detail. Jesus says, they try to trick him, and he says, show me the coin. He's doing judo there. That's a martial arts move. And they go, oh, look, I got it right here. Oh, do you? Oh, do you? You mean the coin that says, Caesar is God? You've got that coin in your pocket, do you? You're not supposed to have that coin in your pocket. Isn't that interesting? Now, he could have rubbed their face in it, but he doesn't need to. They got it loud and clear. They know that law. That's like if somebody said to you, why aren't you honoring your father and your mother? You wouldn't need a reminder of what they were talking about. You'd know exactly. Why are you coveting your neighbor's goods? You'd know what they were talking about. So they knew exactly what he was talking about. And what does he say? Give to Caesar what's Caesar's. But don't you dare give Caesar what's God's. Give to God what is God's. And as he does that, I think he's giving us 2 rules to follow for when people are trying to dig up dirt on us. Because that could happen. I mean, I don't know if anybody here is running for office, certainly not this year. But if you are, you may find that you're going to have enemies out there you didn't know that you had. And they're going to try to find out stuff about you that makes you look bad. So here are Jesus's 2 rules. Rule number 1, make sure you're keeping your side of the street clean. The best way to not have anything for someone to dig up on you is to not have stuff to dig up. If we live lives that are in alliance with our values, then we're not going to have much to dig up. And that's what's so interesting, is that Jesus is being attacked, he's being ambushed, but his side of the street is clean. He doesn't break the commandment of putting things above his relationship with the Father. You know, if the Pharisees didn't have that coin on them, they might have won the debate in the end. They might have looked good. But it was having the coin on them, having their side of the street not be clean, won it for Jesus. And here's the thing. Our religion gives us ways to keep our side of the street clean. Every Tuesday, we have confessions between 5:30 and 6:30. The 1st and 3rd of the month here in Cooksaki, the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month in Ravenna. And I'm going to be here this week it's like open office hours. And you can come and have your opportunity to share aloud what it is that you're struggling with, what dirt you want to dig up on yourself. When we go to confession, we dig it up on ourselves, and it frees us. At the beginning of every Mass, we have this penitential rite where we have a chance to really honestly say, you know what? I am a gossip. You know, I'm kind of prideful. You know, I told a white lie this week. I'm jealous of my neighbor. I'm kind of greedy sometimes. I see a buffet and I go for it. Whatever it is, right? That's an opportunity that we're given. And a lot of people take the old, beautiful tradition of using their night prayers before bed to do what we call an examination of conscience, to look back over the day and say, how did I do today? Where was I angry when I could have been kind? Where was I dishonest when I could have just said nothing or said the truth? Where did I miss an opportunity to be loving? So the first rule of not having stuff to dig up on you is don't have stuff buried. Bring it out into the open. If we're familiar with our flaws, things are going to be okay. And that is the embodiment of that second rule. Don't let yourself lie to yourself about what you're struggling with. It is not the stuff that we know about that can get us down. It's the stuff we won't let ourselves know. Like those Pharisees, they thought of themselves as the holy enforcers. Their self-talk was, we're the holy ones. But they're breaking God's commandment right in their pocket. They forgot that they had a sin right on them. And that's something that we should not allow to happen, because we always have a sin on us all the time. If we know ourselves well, we know that we're always struggling with something. I think that's why the 12 Steps has that brilliant phrase, we are only as sick as our secrets. Isn't that true? We're as sick as our secrets. Whatever we can say out loud loses its power over us. But if we want to keep it in secret, we're going to have a hard time. So I think this gives us an opportunity to recognize sometimes I feel guilty over something that I've done or haven't done. And maybe that's not so bad if it's a real thing I could work on. Guilt is what tells us maybe we violated our own standard. Maybe we have a standard that we like to live up to, and our guilt tells us, that wasn't my best today. That actually can be a phrase that we say to ourselves that can help us grow. One of the best phrases we can say when we catch ourselves stumbling is, I'm better than this. I'm better than this. I could do better than that. That's not my best. When I'm so jealous, when I said that passive-aggressive thing to that lady, that wasn't my best. When I was short-tempered with the cashier or the person in my family who votes differently than I do, that wasn't my best. That wasn't my best. I could have done better than that. What's beautiful about knowing that we have a weakness is it's kind of like when there's a blind curve on your way to work and you know it's there. I'm one of those people who, when I go to Ravenna, I like to take River Road. I guess I like to live dangerously. But I think it's so beautiful. I love it. But there's a million times on that road where I have to pay close attention because there's spots where you have to bring your speed way down in order to negotiate the curve. And that's like having a fault that you know about. It's when you go, there's a blind curve up here, and I always have to slow down for it. I can't be focused on other things. I can't be fidgeting with the radio at that moment. I can't be adjusting my podcast at that moment. I've got to be focusing because there's a blind curve here. And if I misjudge the blind curve and I wind up getting in the ditch, you know what the best thing to say is? I'm a better driver than this. That's the last time that happens. I knew about that curve and I fell right into it. Not again. You get yourself towed out, and then you get your alignment redone, and then you say, all right, not again. I can do better than this. If we were running for office, probably our opponents could dig up stuff on just about every one of us if they worked hard enough. But it's not our flaws that do us in anyway. It's thinking that we don't have any.